Hello, everyone! Welcome to Molehill Mountain, episode 240. I'm Andrew Eisen, and I don't have a whole heck of a lot to talk about tonight. Was it because I was lazy and could not be bothered to look for topics to talk about? Kind of. Was it also not a whole hell of a lot happened this week? Eh. Mostly it's because I've just been really busy. I'm working on I released the first part of my video game fashion police for Gem from Gem and the Holograms video this week. That took a lot of effort to get ready. I have a video for Pizzazz scheduled to go next week. I need to do final checks on that. In addition to prepping next week's Leslie and Bob videos. In addition to all that, I have to do work this weekend. Actual people pay me to do stuff work. Um, uh, so I have to put in quite a bit of overtime this weekend, which means I'm tired now. It's one of those, hey, we need you to test these new products that we got, but we don't have any to send you. I can't test them then. So, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to overnight them to you, and you pick them up and just beat the hell out of them over the weekend, and then send them back so we can put them in the field next week, whether they work or not. So I got the devices, which, couple problems. One is not set up right. One has a completely different case, which means it doesn't fit in its charging cable cradle unless you take the case off, which is really hard to do. And in addition to that particular device, I honestly could not find the on button. It essentially is the size of a cell phone. It looks kind of like a thick cell phone. And there's, like a cell phone, it's got buttons on the side. And so I press the button. Nope. Press the other button. Nope. That button. That button. Long press all the buttons. Hold the buttons in different configuration. I could not figure out how to turn it on. I put it in its charger and it came on. I pulled it out of its charger and I tried pressing the buttons. I couldn't figure out how to turn it off, other than leave it alone for 60 seconds and it turned off itself. So I was very confused and feeling kind of stupid because I couldn't figure out how to. The only way I could get to turn it on would be to pop it in the charger for a second, and the only way I could figure out how to turn it off was leave it alone for a minute. However, I did notice that when I pried the damn thing out of its protective case, it turned on. So I didn't know what combination of buttons I was. So I had to Google it and pull up an information document that no one sent me in the first place. And that didn't help because the only thing it was interested in talking about was basically a button that enables talk to text, a button that you hold down and you yell at it and it does things, which is fully programmable. I don't think my company really needs that functionality, but whatever. So I called upon one of my developers over the weekend, and he's 3 hours ahead of me, so he really appreciated it. I said, hey man, question, where's the power button? Now, I've used a lot of different phones. I've used a lot of different tablets. I've used a lot of different handheld devices. I have never seen, I'm not saying it's uncommon, just in my experience, I have never seen the power button on the top. It's on the top about right here. It is marked, if you're looking really carefully, it does have an engraved power symbol button on it, but it is flush with the case, and it's the same color as the case, and it's really small. So I overlooked it for 45 minutes of desperate searching for a button I was missing. I also found out that there was a button on the back that I never noticed because it blends in with the case. That button is inactive, so it doesn't do anything anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But at least now I know to turn the damn thing on. Also, because these devices are off-the-shelf devices that we are running our own software on, sometimes the buttons on the front of it, it has physical buttons on the front, are programmable, and they're not labeled. There's a button that's like P1. What is P1? It's nothing. It's programmable. Programmable button 1. So there's a bunch of functionality that, so I had to call them again. I said, hey, if I wanted to bulk count something, how do I do, 10 plus 10 plus 10 or whatever? And he goes, oh, let me send you a document. I'm like, why don't you people send me this shit in the first place? It's like, oh, so if I hit 1 on the keypad, and then I hold this button down here, and then press this button over here, that toggles the operands on. That's very cumbersome. And he says, yeah, you'll probably want to use the custom keyboard. Custom keyboard, you say? So I go into the settings, and I look at the key. The only thing in there is the Google keyboard and the voice to text to talk keyboard, whatever it's called. I'm like, dude, there's no custom keyboard. Oh, we'll have to get you the APK for that. Oh my god! Hey, so, one of the devices has no physical buttons. It's a touchscreen only device. I said, how do I break out of our software so I can go to the desktop and futz around with the settings? And he goes, yeah, probably going to have to use a batch file to break out of it. Cable in, use a batch file to close the overlord so you can get to the main screen. I'm like, great, could you send me that? He says, yeah, I'll ask the other developer who has those. He won't be able to get those to you till Monday, though. Thought through, we did not. Google is my friend, and I did Google. And I probably could have found the documentation I was looking for. Actually, I was sent some better documentation, but it basically just points, it says this is the P1 button. Great. That doesn't mean it would have told me where the power button is, but telling me this is the P1 button doesn't matter, because the company's official documentation can't tell me how we're using the P1 button, right? So it's kind of a trial and error thing, and it is just, it's fun. It's good times, and I get time and a half for it because I am on overtime. So, I'm not complaining too much, but I am tired because I'm doing that and a bunch of video projects and planning tomorrow's stream and tonight's podcast, which is why I didn't really have many topics. I've got 2, which is why I labeled this one at BYOT, bring your own topic. So feel free to suggest in the chat things for me to talk about, because I've only got a couple things planned. Watch the I'm a Spider, so what? Oh, yeah. That's another anime. I've not seen. I know what one you're talking about, though. What software do you sell that locks you out of a phone OS? We don't sell it. It's our software that we're using on how much can I say? We, as of recently, have new customers and new employees. So we need to buy some off-the-shelf devices that we can use for our new employees and customers, because we can't manufacture all that many new of our own proprietary devices that quickly. So we are evaluating different off-the-shelf devices that we can load our software on so that our field employees can use them. But we don't want our field employees to download stuff on the Google Play Store, or we only want them using. So when we do have some of our equipment that we give to our field employees is proprietary. Some of it is off the shelf tablets and terminals and things like that. So we have software on there that locks a user into our software so that they can't change the device settings or screw around in the Windows registry or download apps from the Google Play Store or futz around in the wireless connection settings, that kind of a thing. So, how do I like Valstrax? That's an excellent question, Reverend Werewolf. I have no idea because I haven't played Valstrax because the game requires me to arbitrarily just sink another 6 to 8 hours or so in the game before it will let me play Valstrax. You see, in order to play Valstrax, new monster added to Monster Hunter Rise, for those who are wondering what I'm talking about, you must be Hunter rank 100. I am not Hunter rank 100. I am Hunter rank 70-something. How do you increase your Hunter rank? Just by playing the game. I've completed all the quests. I'm done. So I would just have to hunt random monsters for fun. I'd have to play a video game for fun. How long would it take me to grind out 20 some more levels of Hunter rank? 6, 7, 8 hours, somewhere around there. I don't want it. So I'll get it eventually because every week every week they have a new event quest, and they're going to have collaboration quests. I think there's one this month, and then end of July, end of August. So I'll be playing it probably once a week, and I'll slowly grind out, and eventually I'll hit Hunter rank 100 and fight Valstrax. But the Leslie and Bob series will probably catch up to who's the last? I guess the All-Mother Narwa fight. Will probably hit there before I get to Valstrax, because I'm just not interested in arbitrarily playing the game with no goal other than because it's an indignation thing, I think, because the game is saying, oh, you've played the game for 150 hours, have you? That's not enough. I think you need to play the game for 157 hours before we will allow you to face Valstrax. Kiss my ass. But I'm very interested in playing Valstrax because I didn't play Generations, so never fought that creature before. Cafe just finished the first season of the new DuckTales show. Pretty good. Highly recommended. Yeah, I'm interested in checking that. I did see the first episode. Two-parter? Something. Disney Channel? Whoever. Actually, when the show first aired, the remake, reboot, whatever, first aired, they released the first episode or first two-parter, and I watched it, and I was like, that's pretty nice. So, yeah, I'd like to watch it myself. It looks cool. Okay, so what would I like to talk about? What two small things do I have on my list? Well, Jared never fought Metal Nergigante because MH grindiness. Yeah, well, it was a Ruiner Nergigante, and I think you had to be like Master rank 150 or something like that. Which the difference is with Iceborne, they actually had a ton of event quests. By the time Ruiner Nergigante came around, there were a bunch of event quests, and many of them were specifically there to boost your Master ranking. Rise doesn't yet have anything like that. So one of the subsequent event quests may be a play this quest to increase your hunter rank quickly. Okay. But, yeah. Anyway, so, okay. Happy Pride Month, everyone. It is June, and June is the month of Pride, so happy Pride Month. There are a lot of things we could talk about regarding Pride Month. I would like to keep it positive-ish. I have two stories I'd like to discuss, and it's about corporations. It's about corporations using Pride Month to sell us stuff, which is not inherently a bad thing. But it can be kind of disgustingly cynical. And there are definitely some corporations that should keep the goddamn rainbows off of their logos, considering that they are supportive in the sense that they donate money to people, politicians, and organizations that are cruel, outright cruel and harmful to LGBT people. You know. But I want to stay away from that. Instead, focus on companies that are at least trying, I think, given the benefit of the doubt, are trying, but are failing. So let us start with, I think it's Warner Brothers. Is it WB? Yeah, it's Warner Brothers. Who have a version of their Injustice game, which is the superhero fighty-fighty game, on mobile. Now, I don't know how this game actually works, because I've never played it, because it's a mobile game, and apparently not even Nintendo can make games on mobile devices that I want to play. So it goes. Well, Injustice Mobile, like many games of its ilk, has event quests in which it tasks players to do a thing. Like, we want to see how many Smurf berries you can... Smurf berries, of course, are not an Injustice, but let's say you're playing the Smurfs Mobile, and you can collect Smurf berries. Well, if there are 100 people playing, and everyone playing collects 5 Smurf berries, then the community at large has collected 500 Smurf berries. But what if the developer of the game challenged the community to collect 100,000 Smurf berries? Well, everyone would have to get into the game and play and grind out Smurf berries, and if everyone can collect if everyone communicate... I can't spit the word out. It's not working. It's not going to happen. If we get to 100,000 Smurf berries, then we will do a fun thing. Everyone will get a sticker. So Injustice is doing a thing like that. Well, for the month of Pride, it says, okay, we're going to have a Pride celebration gift, where if the community meets a particular goal, we will have a particular prize. Nifty. Basically, you're just earning shards, which I guess are a form of currency in the game. Okay. All right, so what cool event could we do in celebration of Pride Month? Which, again, yeah, corporation, kind of cynical. They're just using Pride Month to try and get people to play their game and spend money. Yeah, but not what I'm focusing on right now. So, okay, what could we do for an event? Well, there are several characters in our game who are canonically LGBT. Poison Ivy is one of them. So, we could have an event quest revolving around Poison Ivy. So far, so good. Because we like Poison Ivy, fun character, yay representation. What do we got? Okay. Greetings, heroes, says the announcement for the Pride celebration gift. With the help of multiverse-armored Supergirl, Darkseid was stopped, and classic Superman is free from his clutches. The destruction left in his wake has sent entangling Poison Ivy on a rampage. Now is the time to put aside our differences, work together, and help Heartbreaker Harley Quinn show that friendship and love can conquer all. We are once again sending out a call for help to all heroes across the globe. Help stop entangling Poison Ivy by defeating her in challenge mode. Work together. Defeat entangling Poison Ivy 400,000 times to unlock the Grand Bundle. Defeat her 450,000 times to unlock the Epic Bundle, and defeat her 500,000 times to unlock the Mega Bundle. Prize bundles feature a chance of earning shards of entangling Poison Ivy and Heartbreaker Harley Quinn. So their idea here, was like, okay, how can we celebrate Pride Month? Or rather, how can we exploit Pride Month to make money and drive engagement with our product? Okay. Which of our characters is queer? Poison Ivy? Okay. All right, fam. Beat the shit out of the queer person 500,000 times. Yay, Pride Month. No, no, Warner Brothers. That's not how you do it. Holy shit. I mean, that is so unbelievably tone deaf, it's kind of hard to get mad at. Wow. We've got a couple queer characters. Let's pick one and beat the shit out of her 500,000 times for shards. Friendship and love, it says. Oh my god. Warner Brothers, we can have a separate discussion about the whole exploiting Pride Month and other similar events cynically to make money. We can have that discussion. That's not the discussion I want to have. It's too goddamn depressing. But if you're going to do that, and you're going to celebrate Pride Month, legitimately or cynically or not, this is not the way to do it. This was a misstep, WB. Wow. So WB did respond. It said, we recognize associating our latest global challenge with Pride was insensitive and inappropriate. Real-life violence against LGBTQIA+ community and women within that community in particular is all too common. And we should actively engage in efforts to end LGBTQIA+ violence. And I say that stilted because it's hard for me to spit out that acronym without reading it and make sure I'm not missing anything. Not normalize it. We apologize to the greater community, but especially LGBTQIA+ members. We're committed to listening and doing better. I hope so, WB. I hope so. Because we have to remember that while corporations are not people, and by extension don't give a shit about Pride or anything else, they don't give a shit about anything beyond what can make them money. Corporations are made up of people, some of which actually do care. And I find it really disappointing that there was no one in the decision chain here who either recognized the problem with this particular promotion or didn't feel they were in a position to safely speak up about it. That's what I find particularly distressing about this. It's that either nobody at WB looked at this and went, "Ooh, we might want to rethink that." You know, maybe have Ivy and Harley team up to beat the shit out of someone else. You know, we could just not do that. That's something we could do. Or there were people there who were thinking that, but did not feel uh, that they were in a position to safely bring that up. And that makes me very sad. Because wow, that's just so off the mark that it almost feels like it's on purpose. You know, it's like, how can you get it that wrong? I mean, did you do that? I mean, come now. I mean, did you really just show your ass accidentally, or did you moon someone on purpose? Ah. Matthew says, how can we celebrate Pride Month? I know, you can beat up the queer/lesbian character, lol. Right? Lindy says, how did they not think this through before releasing the game? Bet they see only dollar signs? Yeah. So let's move on to a better example. Let's talk about Microsoft, specifically Team Xbox. So I will put in the chat a link to the... Come on, mouse cursor. What? There we go. I will put in here a link to the page I'm talking about. So Team Xbox had a whole blog post about their various Pride initiatives, and they are myriad. So there's, let me just scroll through here quickly. There's some t-shirts. You could get some t-shirts. Tell Me Why, the latest game, I think it's the latest game from Don't Nod, the folks behind the one with the girl in the storm, and she has like time powers. What the hell's the name of that game? There's two of them. Life is Strange. They have a new game, Tell Me Why, which apparently stars a transgender character, and they released it for free. So I got it, and we're going to play it on the stream tomorrow. You can get a Pride car in Forza. You can get a nameplate for the Halo Master Chief Collection. You can get some new gamer picks and profile themes with rainbow colors. They're donating some money. They're linking to Trevor Project and a couple other charities. Got some Gears thing. They're recommending a couple LGBTQIA plus community curated games such as Read Only Memories, Undertale, Tell Me Why, and some others. Oh, pardon me. And cool stuff like that. So, but what I would like to focus on is this. Boop. The Pride 2021 Xbox Wireless Controller Gift. That's pretty snazzy looking if you ask me, and you didn't. So, let's talk about this controller. It looks to me like it's a custom removable faceplate and a new battery pack cover. Now, I don't have an Xbox Series S, 1, whatever that is for. So I can't verify, I'm just going by the picture, but that looks like a removable faceplate, and that looks like the battery compartment. But that's pretty cool. I like the design, show your pride on every side, it rhymes, it's nice. I give it a thumbs up, it's fine. So, Here's what it says. Team Xbox has designed the Pride 2021 Xbox wireless controller with and for LGBTQIA+ people to give visibility to communities that have often been overlooked and neglected. It combines the flags of various LGBTQIA+ communities in an interwoven, energetic way, creating a sense of unity and evoking both technology and the modern age. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Team Xbox goes on. To celebrate, Team Xbox will share these controllers with key influencers and media in the US and internationally. So it's not for sale. So I can't buy this. This is not something we can buy. So we can't have this, is what you're saying. You're not like selling it and donating a portion of the proceeds to Trevor Project or some other charities. No. Okay. Fine. So you're giving these to influencers and the media? Who? Are you at least prioritizing LGBTQIA+ influencers and media there, Team Xbox? There's nothing inherently wrong or bad about this decision. It just struck me as really weird. Now, there is a Surface skin that is for sale, but I don't have a Surface. Do you? This is just an odd choice to me. They made a really cool Pride themed front and back plate, but no one gets it. You can't buy it. You can't have it unless you happen to be an influencer or in the media. And as of now, they've not said who's getting them. Well, I hope they're thoughtful about who gets them, at least who gets priority. Just an odd choice to me. Again, I want to be clear. I'm not slamming Team Xbox for this. It's just a really weird choice to me because, again, this seems like a custom faceplate. That seems like something they could make a bunch of. Now, if these were like real custom controllers and they could only make like 20 of them, that makes sense that they wouldn't sell them. I mean, you could auction them. But this looks like a faceplate to me. You could probably make a lot of these and sell them and, donate the proceeds, or at least a portion of them, to various worthy causes. But this is where we get into that kind of icky corporate cynicism kind of thing. It's like, we did this cool Pride thing and we're going to give it to influencers in the media to tell you how awesome we are and how prideful we are. Full of pride. Just an odd choice. Jared says it's not. It's a redesigned controller, big plastic part. I mean, again, even if that is a not a snap-on faceplate, if that's just a full controller that they couldn't make too many of, it's still an odd choice to me. Joey Jojo Jr. Shabadoo says the one good flag branded product and can't actually get it. I know, it seems like kind of a missed opportunity because I know it's corporately cynical to just brand all of your tat with rainbow flags, but it's still fun. And it's still for a genuine good cause. I don't mind. How do I want to say this? Are corporations broadly being cynical when they use rainbow flags in their logos and marketing and advertisements and products? Yeah. Are they doing it because they really care? The corporation, no. The people of the corporation, possibly, yes. And as kind of gross as that may make some of us feel, the fact that promoting pride is seen as a successful, financially viable and successful way to go is a good thing. It means we're winning, or at least heading in that direction. So that's good. Take the wins where you can get them. One other thing I'd like to point out, and this has nothing to do with the Pride controller itself, is something else in the list here. In addition to everything else, Microsoft is donating a total of $150,000 to LGBTQIA+ nonprofits. Together with our employees, Microsoft has donated $2 million+ to organizations that support the LGBTQIA+. I'm getting better at rattling that off community in the last year. And we are making an additional $150,000 total donation to nonprofits around the world to help fight for LGBTQIA+ equality. Nope, equity, including the ACLU Foundation, the Trevor Project, Act to Change, Outright Action International, Beam, and Mermaids. We remain committed to advocating for and supporting equality and equity and equality for all, including our LGBTQIA+ employees, gamers, and members of our community. Cool, but $150,000, huh? Microsoft, you pulled in $143 billion last year, 2020. Big pandemic. Might have heard of it. You did quite well for yourself. So I think you can afford more than $150,000. I mean, $150,000 is a lot to me. Of course, splitting it between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different charities. Still, that's money they can definitely use. But not to be a dick, which means I'm gonna be a dick. So I'll just outright say it. To be a dick about it, Microsoft, you donating $150,000 would be like me donating a nickel. It's not nothing, but I've got a big coffee can full of loose change. Big Folgers coffee can. Someone could sneak into my house, steal a nickel. I would never notice it was gone. Because my wealth, my personal wealth, is so vast that a nickel is meaningless to me. Likewise, if I had pulled in $143 billion last year, I hope I'm remembering that number right, because I did look it up. And it is more complicated than that, because that's revenue, and that's not factoring in a bunch of other statistics, but Microsoft did very well for itself in 2020. $150,000 to Microsoft is like what a nickel is to me. And a nickel is more than zero. And it's a nickel that worthy charities did not have. So, you know, never turn your nose up at... and if everyone donated a nickel, that's a lot of nickels. But, again, I would like to think, I don't know because I'm not super duper rich, but I would like to think that if I made $143 billion in a single year, and I really wanted to support some worthy charities like ACLU, Trevor Project, Act to Change, and others, Mermaids, good one, I'd like to think that I would donate more than the equivalent of a nickel. Now, maybe I'd be a miserly, curmudgeonly, greedy old bastard if I were rich. I don't know. Maybe wealth changes a person. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you have to give 147 billion, but again, $150,000 just that's not a lot. So I think if you can do better, you should, especially if doing better costs you nothing. Like, I could donate a nickel, but I could also donate a lot more than that. You know, um, I could donate a whole dollar. That's 20 nickels, 5 whole bucks, 100 nickels, 100 of them nickels, and I still wouldn't be bothered. Still wouldn't even notice that we're gone. So, again, I'm just being a dick, I suppose. But and yes, you have in the past donated more than $2 million, which again, it's nice. It's not a whole hell of a lot compared to how much money you're raking in. Just saying. But you know, cheers. Can't swap faceplates on the Xbox. Well, that's a short-sighted design decision because that kind of thing's been popular for years. Well, regardless, like I said before, with even if that's not an interchangeable faceplate, that's an actual full controller, and they could only make a few of them. I still think there are better ways to go about doing this. It's still just an odd choice to me. Again, not a bad choice or oh, you Microsoft. No, it's just odd to me. Let's see. Microsoft is still a company. They were never going to make a massive donation. 150K is still something. Yes, it is something. And it will be put to good use, I am sure. Much like a nickel from me. So, let's see. Matthew, most rich people and businessmen, for that matter, got rich by penny pinching. And exploiting others. Usually pinching others' pennies. You know how, like Activision, famously 2 years ago, I think it was, um, laid off 800 people, and then boasted record profits for that year. It's like, yeah, look at all our profit. All we had to do was put 800 people out of work. I mean, we wouldn't have had to do that if we would stop paying our CEOs who don't actually do anything tens of millions of dollars apiece. You know, we could. I'm not saying don't pay them, and yes, they do things, but you know, Bobby Kotick, who's the Kotick, whatever his name is, who's the CEO of Activision, doesn't make games. Like, you know, your favorite Activision games, he had nothing to do with it. Like actually making the game. He didn't do art. He didn't do level design. He didn't do any programming. He doesn't make the games. He just fires the people who does, and then pockets tens of millions of dollars every single year. Which is good for him, even though he doesn't need it. I have to wonder, if I were so insanely wealthy, I mean insanely wealthy, that millions of dollars meant nothing to me because I already had hundreds of millions, maybe even billions of dollars to my name. Like, you could never get. I could make $0 for the rest of my life and still not be able to spend all of my money. I have to wonder if I would just covet more. I need more. It's not enough. I have more than I could ever spend, but I'm absolutely willing to ruin people's lives to get more for myself. God, I hope not. I'm probably never going to find out for sure, but I certainly hope not. Jared says Activision has done that twice in the past 3 years. Yeah, they do that frequently. Yeah, it was particularly egregious 2 years ago that the 800 people won. But yeah, I think they did something like that last year too. But a lot Activision, of course, not the only company that does that. Also, companies that broadly don't pay taxes. In fact, they get and they still get tax refunds, even though they're not paying any taxes. Which means that the people who do pay their taxes, probably you too, we're subsidizing Activision. Fun, huh? But hey, their games are fun. I mean, I don't think I play any of Activision's games, but yeah, I don't see any. I'm trying to, do I play any of Activision's games? None of the modern Activision stuff. I don't think. I can't think. That's not to say that their games are no, their games are fine. If you like Call of Duty, they sure do make Call of Duty. But yeah. Do I have all the answers? No. Nope. But I definitely have opinions. So that's all I have to talk about tonight. We've got 11 minutes left of the hour. Any topics burning a hole in your heads that y'all want me to opine on? Mentioned we're playing Don't Nod's game tomorrow. What the hell is it called? Tell Me Why? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Tell Me Why. I'm a little. I haven't really enjoyed Don't Nod's games. They're not bad, but I've yet to find a game of that ilk. I don't like that word. That subgenre that I like. You know, the story-heavy point-and-click adventure game with consequential choices. So your Life is Strange type games and a lot of Telltale's games like Walking Dead and the various other series they had going over the past decade. I've played several of them. I haven't really liked any of them. I did not like Walking Dead. I didn't dislike Life is Strange. I only played the first chapter. Of course, I only played the first 2 chapters of Walking Dead. Maybe they get much better, but not really my style of game. But I mean, hey, Pride Month, and here's a game with a trans lead in it. How many games can you think of that have a trans lead in it? Other than this, I can think of one. I'm sure there's probably a bunch of indie games I've never heard of that have trans leads. I can think of a couple trans characters in video games with some iffy depictions, but I doubt I could get. I doubt I could name more than 10. Probably, I'd struggle to probably get up to 5. But, you know, we're getting there. So, but, you know, hey, hopefully the game is good. I turned it on this afternoon just to make sure it ran and that my controller worked with it. And I don't know if Don't Nod is a small studio with a few people, but man, the game looks like it was made 10 years ago. I mean, graphically speaking, it looks old. It doesn't look bad, just looks old. Kind of like the Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous show on Netflix. How it doesn't look bad, like the animation and modeling and such isn't bad. It just looks like it was done 10 years ago. You know, it's probably a resources thing more than anything else. It is hidden a little bit with the art style they go for. Um, I hope the dialogue is better than the dialogue in Life is Strange, because that was it had again. I only played the first chapter, but it had real teenager as written by 40-year-olds vibe to it, you know. And I'm 40, and I was like, you know, I promise I don't hang around the high schools, but if I did, I'm pretty sure that's not how kids sound these days. It really does come off as this is how us old people think these kids today sound. But again, not a bad game, but I wasn't really inspired to go beyond chapter 1. Lee, hello. Zombie Saga Revenge? Zombies, is that what it's called? Yeah, it's another anime that I'm watching right now. Last week's show, and again, I don't pay for Crunchyroll, so I'm a week behind. Um, Last week's show I didn't particularly like because it was a pretty superfluous show, and the one song they did in it was just kind of average. It was a show where they get a new band member, and they've already got 7, so that seems like we have enough. We don't need a new one. I didn't really like the character, and then she decides she doesn't want to be in the band anymore at the end. And it's like, well, that was kind of pointless. I mean, it does set something up, but I'd say that's the weakest episode so far. But last week's, the most recent one I watched, is going after the I forget her name, but the legendary courtesan and her backstory. So we have a whole flashback back into 18 whatever. And as a zombie, she's got a scar going all the way around her neck. So she gonna lose her head at some point, which made this fun zombie musical comedy interestingly tense, because you're like, oh, how's she gonna get beheaded? We know it's gonna happen. How's it gonna happen? So I was like, all right, show. And that episode didn't have any music in it either. Um, so good job, Zombie Land Saga Revenge Saga of Zombie Land. You are so much better than you really have any right to be. I'm usually pretty surprised just by how much I'm enjoying the show, because it does so many things not very well, but it does enough stuff really well that I find it a fun watch. Matthew says, am I still waiting on an opportunity to get a GPU? Yeah, still keeping an eye out. Don't want to pay 3 times MSRP. So I've been entering like drawings, like Newegg has their usually daily shuffle. Unfortunately, they keep bundling GPUs with like power supplies and stuff. I'm like, I don't need a power supply. And this week they just had a bunch of like 3080s, and I'm like, I don't need a 3080. I'm not rendering Pixar movies here, you know. I also don't want to pay $1,100 for a graphics card. But occasionally they have something. that I'd like, and I've been entering the Newegg shuffles and other things like that every time I can for weeks, and I've not won one yet. And that's a shame, because I'd mentioned weeks ago that my power bill had gone up. So I got my new PC, and my power bill jumped up to 60 for the month. And then the next month, which was last month, it jumped up to 70. And I was like, that's got to be the PC, because my old graphics, one, it's probably drawing more power anyway, and two, the graphics card in here is older, so it's running full. The fans, which I added 2 more in the case, are running full blast pretty much all the time. So for the past month, I shut this computer down from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. every single day. That's the peak electricity hours. That's when electricity is most expensive here. Made sure I shut my PC down at night. Made sure my consoles were not in sleep mode but off when I wasn't playing them. Made sure I shut down my other work PCs. Even turned up the temperature in my fridge a little bit so that it's not working as hard. Sat in the dark as much as I could. And I got my power bill for the last month. $60. All that, and I only saved $10. So, yeah. Ah, Matthew's got a 3070. That's still more than I need, but what are those, like $700 or something like that? I'm at the point where it's like, you know what, so maybe I'll drop $700 on a graphics card and be able to use it for a decade, you know. Because this thing is loud because fans are on all the time. So that's disappointing that I wasn't able to significantly reduce my power bill. Hopefully a modern graphics card will, because I have this thing on a lot. Even if I have it off during peak hours, it's still on most of the rest of the day. So hopefully a more efficient graphics card that isn't constantly buckling under the strain and trying not to overheat will draw less power from my wall. But I did, I did buy something that I've been trying to buy for the last 15 months. Do I think this year's E3 will be better than last year? You know, did we even have E3 last year? I mean, it's E3 is more of a scattershot of individual companies' shows. Like, for example, I think next week like this week we had the Guerrilla Collective showing off a bunch of indie games. Next week we have a Ubisoft Forward, and so I think Nintendo's doing something, and Sony's doing a state of play, and so all the different companies are doing their own thing rather than having a actual E3 thing. So hard to say. I mean, I'm happier with the digital presentations anyway, because I always hated the conferences because the audience, I don't like people. You know, it's like I like the theater going experience except for the other people there. I want them to be quiet. Like I went to see Rocky Horror, the Rocky Horror Picture Show in a theater like 20 years ago. And this is the kind of movie that you are expected to be rowdy and sing along with the movie and throw things at the screen and dance in the aisles and MST3K the whole thing. That's expected. That's the point. That's why you go. And I went, and I thought, you know what? Honestly, I'd rather people just shut the hell up so I can watch the movie. Yeah, I'm lame. I mean, I didn't yell at it. Shut up! Because that's what we're here for. That would be like going to the designated Monday morning mommy movies that one theater chain in Phoenix had. No, was that in Phoenix or was that here? I don't remember. Time means nothing to me anymore. Uh, those were showings of films dedicated to parents to bring their small chillins to. Don't don't, if you must bring your babies, your stroller babies pooping in their pants, cry all the time babies to the theater, here are the showings to bring them to. Now, if I went to that showing and complained that, hey, well, shut your baby up, that would make me the asshole. So no, I didn't yell at any of the Rocky Horror Picture Show peoples to shut the hell up, even though I really wanted them to, because honestly, I'd rather enjoy the movie in silence. Matthew says E3 is a time of year, not a single event anymore. No, I'll say that. Pandemic time is a flat circle in a void of time. Yeah. Oh, so I stopped going to the gym last February of 2020, I think it was. Um, then shortly after a couple of weeks after that, I started working from home. Shortly after that, it was, oh goodness. I didn't have lunch today. That was breakfast. I've been busy. Then stay at home and all that jazz. I thought, okay, probably going to be a long time before I go back to the gym. And all I have, like as far as working out kind of stuff goes, best I have is like 15-pound dumbbells. This is like the heaviest thing I have, right? I mean, it's not nothing. You can do a bunch of these and eventually you will gas out. But I knew I needed heavier weights. So I thought, okay, I will get myself a weight bar and some plates and a bench and a rack, and that's going to be expensive, but it's an investment. I mean, gym memberships are expensive, right? Spend a lot of money. You cycle between LA Fitness and World's Gym, and that adds up. But if you're not going to the gym anymore, basically 2.5 years worth of gym fees will cover a decent weight set. Unfortunately, like graphics cards, I could not find decently priced weights. Occasionally I found like a bench and a rack that was fine, but if I don't have any weights, they would just take up space. Typically, generally speaking, if you're in the market for exercise weights, you're looking to spend you should expect to pay about $1 a pound for weights. So if you want a 50-pound dumbbell, that's probably going to run you about $50. So I could not find any reasonably priced weights. I wanted to get, a bar with a pair of 45s and a pair of 35s and a pair of 25s. That seemed like a good set to have, right? So if I'm getting a pair of 45s, I should expect to pay 90. If I want to, it's like, maybe I'll pay 100 just because, everything is expensive right now. But no. Once I saw 45 for $110, and I went, all right. And then I realized it was one plate. Not a set of 45s, one 45-pound plate for $110. So usually a pair of 45s I'd see running for like $250. Yeah, it was obnoxious. Like 300 pounds of weights would be up in like an 800, 850 range. And I looked, like there was a couple gyms over the last year near me, the smaller ones, not like LA Fitness or Worlds, but the privately owned ones. They went out of business and auctioned off their stuff. And I thought, ooh, now's my chance to actually get... No. The weights went for like double. So that sucks. But finally, 15 months later, Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah, Dick's Sporting Goods. There's the name. Had a bar and about 300 pounds of weight for $300. Perfect. Unfortunately, they ain't delivering that to your door. You got to go pick it up yourself. And it was only at the Chula Vista store, which I don't live in Chula Vista. Luckily, I don't live terribly far. It's only about 15 miles from here. So they had one in the store. I got on my bike, or rather in my car, drove out to Chula Vista, went in the store, said, gimme, gimme, gimme. And they said, no, because someone bought it before you got here. See, they don't hold stock for anyone. I said, when you get the next shipment? He says, should have 8 more tomorrow. I said, yeah, I'll call in the morning and see if you actually get any in. So I called in the morning and they got 3. So I rushed down there and there was a guy buying one. And I said, do you have any more? They had 1 more. So I now have show and tell, because I'm sure you want it. No one's seen weights. What do they look like? So, see? I have weights now! Yay! So I have a variety of plates and a weight bar. So that's nice. But I don't have a bench or a rack, so it's just sitting on my floor behind my couch. Which is not to say I can't do anything with it. I can, I can do deadlifts and overhead press and squats and, I can do chest presses, but only on the floor, and I can only go back as far as the floor is. So, but it's really nice to 15 months later actually touch some heavy weights again. But there's only so much I can do without a bench and a rack. I'm not gonna load all the weight on the damn thing and then deadlift it off the floor and throw it on my shoulders. That's not safe. So working on it, but hey, I got some weights finally for a reasonable. Still expensive. I mean, it still cost me $300, but weights are expensive. But at least I didn't have to pay, 2 to 3 times what MSRP to get them. Let's see. Lee says there was worse pandemics like smallpox did people back then. Just stay indoors. Supply demand, says Matthew. Yeah, that's what it is. Everyone's staying home. Everyone wanted to get their own workout stuff, and no one could go to stores. Well, not that not many people were. Less people were going to stores. A lot of people were getting laid off, so it was hard to ship this bulky, heavy shit around the country and stock it and display it, and so it's understandable why heavy weights were such a pain in the butt to get, but it didn't make it any less frustrating. But I've got the weights now, so that's nice. I just need to get a bench. And so what I want is a bench and a rack. Hopefully, I really want separate pieces because I know you can get ones that are built together, but I'd rather have them set apart so that I can move them independently. Remember in high school where they always had these damn chairs with the desk that was built onto the chair so you couldn't scoot away from your desk? I hated those. Had those in college too. I missed my grade school desks, which were a desk with an independent chair that I could scooch around. Also the desk was like tiny. You'd have to sit sideways and balance a book on your leg and write on the oh god, it sucks so much. So I don't understand teachers. It's like, I just spent 12 years in school. What are you going to do with your life now? You're going to spend the rest of it in school with children. You do you, man. Matthew says the no spotter. Yeah. Pardon me. Yeah, I live alone, so I have to be very careful, which is why you know, the most I could load on that bar is like 255, I think. No, I could go higher than that because I got a. I'm not sure how many are in this, but there's some. Let's see, two and a half, 4 5s, and 2 10s. So got a little extra weight. Haven't opened it yet though. So I might be able to stack up like 275 or something like that, but I wouldn't do that by myself. That's just not safe. I don't think I'd go more than 255 for chest presses anyway, by myself, because I'm alone, and if I get trapped under it, or if I drop it on my face, I mean, if I drop it on my face, I'm dead. But I don't want to get trapped under anything. So, yeah, you do have to. So, pro tip from an amateur: if you work out at home, be very careful, especially if you're working with heavy weights, because you can get hurt. Because in the gym, it's like, all right, let's throw on 3 plates here and do single rep maximums and just burn out. If you have a spotter, someone who can pull that damn thing off you when you gas out, that's great. You can push yourself to the limit. But when you're by yourself, you have to be really careful. You can't gas out because there's not going to be anyone to help you pull the damn thing off of your face. So yeah, that's a very good. Just arch my back over the couch and you'll be good to go. Yeah, there's a I've been working on trying to do. Let me grab my plate again. Show and tell. I've been working on trying to find a comfortable way to do tricep work. And this particular thing actually works pretty well just the way it's organized, because I can grab it here. And this. Whoa! This is not good. Let me sit up straight. So, I don't know if you can see what I'm doing. So, I can do tricep work with the plate. And I could also, lean back, sit on my couch and do that. So, this is a pretty good. I actually like this style because I can hold it pretty comfortably. Before, about all I could do was get my 15s and, do that or do these. And you have to do a lot of them before, it's like, you get bored before you get tired, right? So it's actually nice to have some heavy weights. And also, the cool thing about this is there's just a lot you can do with this kind of stuff. Not just throw it on a bar and press and do other stuff, but you can do the the tricep thing, or skull crushers. I think one form of that is called. But you can also, if you're careful, again, is you can put this, balance it like on your back, lean forward, and then do push-ups with the weight on you. You can also do planks, just kind of scooch it a little bit lower down your back so it's on the small of your back and plank. Pardon me, man, my breakfast is coming back. You can do, that's hard to demo, but basically wall sits where you put your back and butt up against a wall and you just lower yourself down until your knees are 90 degrees. You just stack weights and hold it, which I'm not doing here. I'm sitting on the arm of my couch. But that's the nice thing about this stuff is there's a wide variety of things you can do. For crying out loud, chair. Okay. Lee says, I'll never do it. You sound like you're old. I am old. Well, older. I'm 41 now, so. And it's interesting because, again, I haven't touched heavy weights in like 15 months, so I was like, man, am I going to be able to lift any of this? And I still can, so that makes me happy. I haven't lost all of my strength. In fact, as soon as I get my bench, I thought it'd be fun to do a Andrew's first try at the chest presses. Like, can he still lift his own body weight? I thought it'd be fun to record them. I don't have a bench yet, so best I can do is just deadlifts. But those aren't visually very fun. You got to do the one everyone knows. The chest presses. But what I found is while I can still lift heavy weights, I gas out a lot quicker than I did a year plus ago. Also, my wrists and the smaller supporting and stability muscles are not used to holding the load anymore. So like doing curls with the bar back there, I start feeling that in my wrists quicker than I feel it like in my biceps. Just because of the smaller muscles, they're just not used to holding and stabilizing that much weight after like 15 months. So for the most part, so I've had this for a week now, and I've been mixing it into my regular routine, and I've been working mostly with the 25s on the bar, using that to do an abbreviated form of hip thrusters, squats, curls, overhead presses, and then I use the then I use Then I use the 45s to do like the tricep work and the the shoulder stuff, which I forget what that's called. Stay. Okay. So I'm starting out small and light so that I can redevelop the smaller stable. Who's that wrestler who does this? Is that Cena? Yeah, he's, what is this? What are you doing, John? What is this? What is this? You weird but very charismatic person who's actually has some really good comedic timing. Seriously, the guy's funny. So yes, no worries, folks. I may live alone, but I am being as safe as I possibly can with my new toys, and I'm making sure that I build myself back up to that I'm not just throwing all the weights. I'm starting at lower weights to get myself comfortable with supporting heavy load, so I don't tear or break or aggravate or die. So, Matthew says, time for Andrew breaks his chair. It's not broken, it's just a design. I'd say it's not a flaw either, it's just not a very well considered design element. There's a little latch on the underside of the chair that you push in to lock it in an upright position, and you pull it out, and you can lean back, which feels like I'm going to tip over backwards, so I don't like that. But with me moving or dancing around and moving and gesticulating, it just kind of wiggles out, and then I fall backwards half the time, which is always really scary because I'll be on a podcast or I'll be blah blah blah. Whoa! You know, one of these days I'm going to go over backwards, so, and that's going to be funny for you. Might as well tie it around your back so it won't fall off and hurt yourself. I've been stacking weights on myself long enough that I don't think I need to do that. In fact, I think tying it to my back, it would end up just kind of sliding off. If it slid off the side, I'd rather it just fall to the floor and away from me rather than kind of going around the side and, you know, pulling me over and I'd land on it and probably bruise my ribs. So it's a thought, but I'm confident that I have enough balance to hold at least one plate in position on my back or lower back while I'm doing push-ups or planking without it falling on the floor. And I'm on the first floor here, so I don't have to worry about it going through the floor and killing my downstairs neighbors. Well, pardon me. Cafe Fox says, I hate doing push-ups, but it's one of the only ways I can actually exercise at the moment. The gym that I go to down the street still hasn't reopened yet. Jared says, you think we're worrying? I mean, being that I'm one of only 5 people on YouTube that you could entertain yourselves with, yeah, you all best hope I don't hurt myself, because if I weren't on YouTube, what would y'all do? So, okay, I've yammered long enough and showing off my new toys. So that's it for tonight. Let's see. We've got more Leslie and Bob videos coming. I think we've got like 3 more weeks of that. The video game Fashion Police for Pizzazz will be Tuesday, noon Pacific Standard Time. I'll do the whole premiere thing so we can watch it together. Chicago, hey, we're ending the stream now. Matthew says, report at 11. Wait from second floor apartment, crack through the floor, killing downstairs neighbors. Yeah, I used to live in second floor, so but I'm on the ground floor, so I don't have to worry about that. Sorry, Chicago. The Pizzazz Fashion Police video will be Tuesday, noon Pacific Standard Time. Hope you'll be around to join me for the premiere. That video is a little bit longer than Gem's. I think it's like 28 minutes or something like that. Because there's a lot to talk about with Pizzazz. Pizzazz is a lot. So I hope you're looking forward to that. Tomorrow I'll be streaming, what is the name of the game? Don't tell me what, no, just tell me why. Don't Nod's game. So we'll play that tomorrow, again, noon Pacific Standard Time, so hope you'll join me for that. And for me, it is dinner time. So, hope you all have a lovely rest of your evening. Hope to see you tomorrow for some video game fun, and Tuesday for some video fun. Yeah. Good night, everyone.